9 times out of 10, the guy standing over a wounded deer at last light isn't blaming his rifle. He's blaming the piece of glass he bolted on top of it without a second thought. Here's the part that stings. You can own a tack driver and still lose the shot because you never actually saw the target clean. The good news? You do not need $1,000 glass to fix that. 5 scopes are quietly dominating the shelves at Cabela's and Sportsman's Warehouse right now, all under $300. And today, we are ranking every single one of them. Number 5. The Bushnell Banner II, 3x9x40. Let's kick things off with the scope that probably came bolted to your first rifle combo, the Bushnell Banner II. Look, this thing has probably knocked more whitetail out of the woods than any other optic on the planet. Street price sits right around $80 to $100, which puts it dead last on pure cost, but do not let that fool you into thinking it is junk. Bushnell built the Banner II around their dusk and dawn brightness coating. Here is how it actually works. Instead of coating every single air-to-glass surface like the pricier stuff, Bushnell targets specific light wavelengths on the outer lenses only. That focused approach still buys you a usable window in that critical 20 minutes before sunup and after sundown, when the big boys start moving. The reticle is where this scope earns its keep. The DOA Quick Ballistic Reticle gives you 5 drop points calibrated out to 500 yards, and Bushnell backs it with their ballistics app, so you can map your specific load right onto the crosshair from your phone. Now here's the deal breaker. Eye relief clocks in at just 3 3/10 inches. That is noticeably shorter than everything else on this list. And if you are running this on a hard-kicking Magnum, you are flirting with a scope bite across the eyebrow. Keep it on a moderate caliber and you will be fine. At just under 15 ounces, it will not throw off your balance, and the quarter MOA turrets track true enough for a set-it-and-forget-it whitetail gun. This one is solid, but stick around, because the scope waiting at number 1 completely changes what you thought a budget optic could do. Number 4. The Sig Sauer Buckmasters, 3x9x40. Now we are stepping up the game, and Sig Sauer is playing a completely different chess match than everybody else on this list. Here's the deal. Sig did not just build a cheap hunting scope, they built an ecosystem play. The Buckmasters line, co-developed with hunting legend Jackie Bushman, was engineered from the ground up to hook whitetail hunters, and it is priced aggressively, often landing well under $150. Sometimes dipping under $100 during a sale. Under the hood, you get a 1-inch main tube, low dispersion glass, and an IPX7 waterproof rating that will shrug off a soaked tree stand morning without blinking. But the real trick is the Buckmasters BDC reticle. It is built to sync directly with Sig's Buckmasters 1500 rangefinder. Range your buck, and the rangefinder tells you exactly which hash mark on your reticle to hold. That is computerized ballistic technology that used to live exclusively on $1,000 glass, now trickling all the way down into this price bracket. I know some of you optics purists are already rolling your eyes at a hunting scope leaning on a gadget gimmick, but sound off below, because thousands of whitetail hunters swear this combo put meat in the freezer. Now the deal breaker. This is a financial one. That slick rangefinder synergy only pays off if you actually buy the matching Buckmasters rangefinder. Buy this scope alone and you lose half the reason it exists. So budget for the pair or you are leaving performance on the table. It does ship with a factory throw lever for fast power changes in cold weather. A nice touch you rarely see this far down the price ladder. Number 3. The Burris Fullfield IV, 3x12x42. Entering the elite tier now, and Burris brings over 50 years of whitetail pedigree straight into this rifle scope. The Fullfield line has always been the bridge scope for hunters who outgrew the entry-level stuff but are not ready to drop Grand Slam money. This latest Fullfield IV bumps the objective lens up to 42 millimeters and stretches the magnification range out to 3x12. And that upgrade is not just for show. Street price lands somewhere between $170 and $200, putting it right in the sweet spot between the budget end and the heritage names. Here's the deal. Modern hunting loads like 6.5 Creedmoor and 350 Legend fly flatter and reach farther than the old standbys, so hunters started demanding a little extra top-end zoom to confidently identify game out past 300 yards. That 42 millimeter glass keeps your exit pupil generous, even cranked up to 12 power, so you are not squinting through a soda straw at last light. Under the hood, the ballistic E3 reticle stacks graduated windage dots right into the lower stadia, letting you hold for crosswind drift without ever touching a capped turret. And this scope runs a double internal spring tension erector system, which is a mouthful, but what it means for you is the reticle holds zero through violent recoil instead of wandering after a few hard-kicking shots. Now the deal breaker, and this one is an ergonomics issue. At 17 6/10 ounces, the Fullfield IV is the heaviest glass on this entire list. Stack that on a lightweight mountain rifle, and you will feel the balance shift toward the muzzle every time you shoulder it. Backed by Burris's forever warranty, this thing routinely wins Best Value awards in the industry, and it is easy to see why. Number 2. The Leupold VX-Freedom 3x9x40. Closer to the crown now, and this is where American heritage collides with genuinely serious glass. Leupold rolled the VX-Freedom out to replace the old VX-1 and Rifleman lines, and honestly, it upgraded the internals to borrow tech from their far pricier tactical scopes. Sets you back somewhere between $250 and $300, making it the priciest name on this list. But the gold ring reputation is not just nostalgia talking. What separates this glass is Leupold's advanced optical system, the evolution of what used to be called the Twilight Light Management coating. This is not a generic multi-coat. It is mathematically tuned to prioritize the red and blue wavelengths that dominate the first and last 15 minutes of legal shooting light, giving you a real contrast edge, picking a deer out of dark timber when everybody else's scope has already gone gray. Mechanically, every single one of these gets run through Leupold's Punisher testing machine, 5,000 simulated recoil impulses at 3 times the force of a .308 Winchester. And somehow, despite that brutal torture test, this scope only weighs 12.2 ounces, making it a dream for anybody carrying a lightweight mountain rig up a steep slope. Here's the deal breaker, and it is a performance quirk. That generous 4.2-inch eye relief on the low end does shrink your field of view slightly compared to the Burris we just covered. You gain safety off the sting of a hard kicker, but you trade a little peripheral picture in tight timber. Final assembly happens stateside in Beaverton, Oregon, and that gold ring badge still means something to guys who grew up on this brand. This is solid, but wait until you see the monster waiting at number 1. Number 1. The Vortex Crossfire II and Diamondback 3x9x40. Here we are, the crown. And Vortex did not just build a good scope, they built the safety net that makes every other purchase on this list feel like less of a gamble. Look, on pure specs alone, you could argue the Leupold at number 2 has better glass, and the Burris at number 3 has more mechanical muscle. But Vortex wins the whole game with one word: trust. Let's start with the hardware. The Crossfire II runs an aircraft-grade aluminum 1-inch tube, nitrogen purged against fogging, fully multi-coated glass, and a stretched-out 3.8-inch eye relief that keeps your eyebrow safe on hard-kicking hunting rifles. Street price is right around $150. Step up to the Diamondback, running somewhere around $200 to $250, and you get argon gas purging instead of nitrogen. And here's why that matters. Argon molecules are physically larger than nitrogen, so in theory that seal holds tighter over decades of temperature swings out in your truck bed or gun safe. Both models lean on the dead hold BDC reticle, giving you dead simple holdover out past 300 yards without touching a turret. But the real weapon here is the VIP warranty. Unconditional, transferable, no receipt, no questions asked, forever. That single policy took the risk completely off the table for a first-time buyer, and it is exactly why Vortex owns more shelf space at Sportsman's Warehouse than anybody else on this entire list. It gives you the eye safety of the Bushnell at number 5, but backs it with a warranty that makes the Sig Sauer at number 4 look shaky by comparison. That is the throne, and Vortex earned it. Look, 5 scopes, 5 completely different reasons to trust them, but only one of these belongs on your rifle. If you are new to this and budget is tight, the Banner 2 will get the job done and put meat in the freezer. If you want the tech gimmick that actually works, Sig's Buckmasters combo is hard to beat. But if you want the safest bet on the shelf, the Vortex lineup is where the smart money goes every single time. Glass is not the place to cut corners. Your rifle can only be as good as what you are looking through. Don't be a victim. Get prepared.